Hey guys, it's gonna be lower quality video. I'm very sleepy and very tired, and it's probably not gonna change soon. But in this video I want to talk about mainly two things. It's gonna turn into what's unique about this unique, and I'm gonna talk about the Vixen and Entrapment gloves. How they work. There's also a bit tricky part if you don't know. And also talk about the Impending Doom. So to start off, the gloves, and I'm later on gonna show some clips with the Impending Doom, so it's not just gonna be me talking. Vixen Entrapment says trigger socketed curse skills when you cast a curse skill with a 0.25 second cooldown. And it also adds an additional curse, and the rest of the stats I guess don't really matter. But the main thing is essentially it auto casts our curses, and only curses. Bane, by the way, used to have a curse tag, it does not have a curse tag anymore. And it also works for marks. So here's the trick, or here's the thing that you may not know. The gloves are instant cast, and you have to cast it the curse manually. So let's say I'm casting punishment manually, and then it casts from the gloves instantly. And the thing is, well, because the gloves are instant cast and you are not instantly casting the curse, it applies the curses from the gloves fast, and then you apply the curse. So I'm actually made a little chart. Let's say you have in the gloves, and by the way, the gloves follow the order of the link, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. You socket the curses like in the right sequence that you want. So let's say you have up to maximum 3 available curses that you can apply on an enemy, and you have Enfeeble, Despair, and Temporal Chains inside the gloves. What happens when you cast a punishment and you have these curses inside the gloves and you have maximum 3 curses? The punishment is gonna basically push Enfeeble out. This is maybe easier to understand, and you will have Despair, Temporal Chain, and Punishment, and Enfeeble will be, well, disabled, well, removed from the enemy, because the enemy can only have 3 curses. And this is important. I'm gonna talk about Impending Doom in a moment, but one other thing, only self-casted curses can have Doom, and Doom essentially is just increased curse effect. To simplify, it's just increased curse effect, and it ramps up over time. Now, the gloves actually don't really have anything else special. As far as I know, you can't really do any other shenanigans, and people only use it for Impending Doom, essentially. Unless maybe you are, I don't know, lazy, instead of clicking like 2 or 3 buttons, you want to click 1 button and you don't mind sacrificing a glove spot. Now, this cooldown appears to be applying not per curse, but per trigger. So you can see both Despair and Enfeeble going on cooldown at the same time. No matter how many curses you put, even like Assassin's Mark, they all gonna have the same 0.25 second cooldown, and they all trigger at the same time, but in the sequence from 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Now this is very important for Impending Doom, and I'm gonna show some clips with Impending Doom. Now Impending Doom is actually, and I was doing a build until like end of Act 7 and realized something very important. In Path of Building, Impending Doom is counted as a skill. And let's say +1 levels of all here spell skill gems will apply and increase the damage. This is, by the way, with the maximum Doom, so let's ignore this damage. And that's not the case in the game. Like, even let's say Empower would give me so much damage in this setup, but it doesn't work. Empower doesn't work, Enhance doesn't work, Ashes of the Star doesn't work, neither quality nor levels. Impending Doom is a support gem. It's a support gem, which does have a skill. And I'm not sure what to trust. Is Path of Building incorrect, or is PoE bugged? I don't know. I don't know which one it is. If you played Impending Doom in the past, let me know in the comments below. I think some people mentioned that the +1 skills used to work, and maybe it was rewarded not that long ago. I'm not too sure, but Impending Doom basically is not a skill. Doom Blast is a skill, but Impending Doom is the support gem that has Doom Blast. How does that work? I guess it's a trigger skill and not an active skill, but yeah, I don't know. It's messing my plans, and I kind of lost interest in doing this build, but then I found a secret idea that sounds really cool. and I wanted to do it, but I had to level to 70. So I still kept going leveling this, but Impending Doom, I'm starting to enjoy it quite a bit. So Impending Doom basically does explosion when a curse expires, and it does more damage based on the Doom. And Doom essentially ramps up. You cannot really see it on enemies, but in PvP you can actually test it to see how it looks. You can also get like increased gain rate for it to ramp up faster, but normally curses expire very slowly. Like if I were to cast it, it would take like what, 8 seconds or something like that, 10 seconds even for this one. So you don't want to wait 10 seconds for Impending Doom to explode. So what can you do is actually, you can essentially do this, right? You could cast one course and then replace, like reach the maximum course allowed on the enemy and then replace with the new course, like with punishment. However, the issue is that the gloves are instant and your self-cast course is not. So your self-cast course is not instant and it is applied after the gloves course enemies with free courses. So it just pushes Enfeeble out and places punishment. But the punishment has Impending Doom linked to it. You can only link Impending Doom to the self casted course. It cannot be linked to like trigger courses or casting damage taken or stuff like that. Here's your Impending Doom. It's still waiting to be for the punishment to expire, and you may have to cast it again. When you cast it again, it's gonna apply these and push the punishment out because it's instant. And punishment basically when you cast the punishment and it was applied before, it pushes the punishment out, but then casts the gloves, the Impending Doom explodes, and then it applies a new punishment and pushes Enfeeble out. So you don't want to be clicking two buttons, right? And there's a trick how to bypass that, sort of a bypass. It's a bit clunky. If you use spell cascade, like normally you would cast 3 circles, right? You can use spell cascade in gloves and in the main setup. And here's the thing: there is alt quality spell cascade, divergent alt quality. Supported skills have up to 100% increased delay between affected areas. So what that means, when you place this delayed spell cascade inside the gloves, it will delay circle 2 and circle 3, and it's gonna be applied after your self-casted, let's say, punishment. So here's how it would look like. Let's say this is you, and you can tell that this is a player because you look like a zombie. And let's say this is an enemy, and you can tell that because it has a flat head and running towards the zombie. And this is your spell cascade courses. This is the first circle that's gonna happen instantly from the gloves because it does not have delay. Actually, maybe the first one does have a delay. I actually am not too sure. Supported skills have increased delay between areas. I think the first cast is not gonna be delayed. It's just gonna be the second and the third delayed. I'm actually not too sure, but I did notice a problem with this setup. You cast your courses and the courses from the gloves like this. And it looks like that. It doesn't overlap all three all the time. Like, let's say the enemy is here. It's gonna be hit by one of the circles. Right, so let's imagine like that. These, you still apply the same three courses, but they're gonna be delayed. Like, not delayed, but repeats are gonna be delayed. Like, this is gonna be instant, apply these three courses. Then your self-casted punishment is gonna land after the first circle, right? So it's gonna land here, and then this is gonna reapply the courses. So it's gonna push the punishment out of 3 courses range, and you're gonna have Enfeeble, Despair, Temp Chain, and the punishment is gonna have the Impending Doom and explode. So if the enemy is gonna be in the right spot, or you're gonna target correctly, it almost overlaps all 3, but it's not quite, and it's very difficult to aim. Essentially, it also has, should I mention, it also has 3 stacks or 3 charges, and one enemy consumes 1 charge. So essentially, you can only explode with Impending Doom 3 enemies or do damage to 3 enemies. But you can also consume all those 3 charges against single enemy if you can overlap it properly. Like if the enemy is right in the middle and these you basically push these circles. I actually cannot You push these circles, like smoosh them together more and make it overlap. Then essentially you remove the punishment on the first click, and then you can also remove punishment again on the third circle, and you basically do 2 explosions. 2, but not 3, and I'm not sure. I actually tried multiple things, and I almost never, I think I would never reach 3 stacks, or like remove 3 stacks from Doom Blast when using this setup. And I tried using different like amount of quality, 100% reduced or increased delay between areas, then 10% increased delay between areas. I tried swapping them spots, and you definitely want the longer delay in the gloves, and maybe even no delay in your main setup, because you want main setup to be casted as quickly as possible. Now I know that this is very scuffed display and probably difficult to understand, but essentially there are a couple ways of building Impending Doom, and I don't want to talk about completely about just Impending Doom. You can do the reduce course duration. There's alt quality on anomalous punishment. No, sorry, on Impending. There's a alt quality on Impending Doom for socketed for linked courses to have a reduced duration. So essentially you just have an instant Impending Doom. You click it, you don't even need the gloves. You click it once, and then it immediately applies the course and immediately expires and applies, explodes Impending Doom. But that doesn't add extra damage. But you can just spam it if you got good cast speed. Another trick is using Fated End. Fated End, once your course reaches maximum Doom, it will expire after half a second. You basically stack a bunch of increased Doom gain rate. There's alt quality punishment, there's also on the tree, somewhere else as well. And then you apply the course, it quickly reaches the max Doom gain rate, and then it waits another half a second, and then it explodes. Which is, as you can imagine, is a bit clunky, and you can make it decently smooth. And I tried this, I reached the Arakawa, and it was just the worst leveling experience ever. There's another method by using blasphemy, let's say temp chain. You curse the enemy and then you run to the enemy. It then removes that first curse that you applied manually, and then it explodes. But what if enemy gets close to you? Then you have to run away from enemy, then reapply the curse, then run to it again. There's no real good way of doing it, I guess, to fully maximize the way Doom works and the way these gloves works, and it does feel satisfying, like doing Impending Doom explosions. You click the button and it immediately explodes, but there are so many cases where the enemy is a bit in the wrong spot and you have to cast it again. I don't know if I'm gonna continue doing this. I will probably reach at least level 70 with this and see how it feels. And if not, I have a plan B, which is, I will still do it. I just don't know if I'm gonna be doing the Impending Doom build. Maybe I will. Maybe I will make another update about Impending Doom later on. So that's it for now. I need to go start the stream soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.